That date, new here and asking for help. I, 64, was returning from a 2-week trip across the country to see relatives when my wife, 42 of almost 18 years, called me all excited because she was asked to go to a drive-in to see the movie Magic Mike by a supposed friend of hers. I had no prior knowledge of this guy or any friendship she might have had with him. He works at a store in town that she goes to occasionally. My wife had never gone to a drive-in before. I had asked her to go several times over the years, but she always turned me down. That is where teenagers go to do inappropriate things, is why she would not go. I told her I did not approve of her going with some stranger to a drive-in and that I did not want her to go. She said that he was a friend and it was okay. He told her the drive-in was closing, and since she had never gone before, she had to go with him. That is what she told me. I told her it was totally unacceptable to go there with him and that if she did that, our marriage will be over. She argued that there was nothing going on but said she would not go. I did not hear from her until 2 days later when I returned home, and she admitted she thought about what I said and decided to go anyway. I asked her, even though you knew my feelings about it, and she said yes, that I should not talk to her like that and I was wrong for telling her what to do. I, of course, being totally devastated by this, told her that we are through, that she has destroyed our marriage. She says she did nothing wrong. She says there was nothing physical or anything. The marriage is over because of what I said. She will not be married if I don't trust her. I did tell her I trust her, but not some stranger. Well, it has been over a week now, and according to her it is my fault. She is totally blameless. I have talked to her twice explaining how or why I feel a married woman going to a drive-in movie with a virtual stranger is wrong. She says she is not wrong and won't be married to someone that does not trust her. I have asked her a couple times if she wants to save our marriage, and her answer is I don't think it can be saved. I love her and want to find a way to fix this. I feel horribly betrayed, and everyone I have talked about this thinks the drive-in date was totally wrong. What can I do? I am waiting. I have no proof that anything physically happened. I do feel that I am being played. It really bothered me that she thought it over after agreeing not to go and went anyway. I told her if he really is a friend, then she should not have gone, and explained the relationship to me when I got back so I could be comfortable with their friendship. She said I would have been mad, so she went anyway. I will wait for the other shoe to fall, so to speak, but I have started making plans to protect myself. I know I overreacted. It was my wife telling me she betrayed me after thinking about it. I told her since then that I was temporarily insane because of what she did. The midlife crisis thing does come to mind. My wife and I both have friends of the opposite gender that we go out socially with. Neither of us has permission to cheat. Not on dates to intimate places though, and not with strangers as this guy is to me. Her computer, iPad and phone all have passwords on them. I will try to gain info if I can get in. The drive-in was supposed to be closing down that weekend, so it was her only chance to go. I bet there are other drive-ins around. She says they have been friends for about 4 months, denies going anywhere or meeting him anywhere. I have had another discussion with the wife or future ex about the situation we are in. She insists that nothing improper went on, that it was not a date as such, they are only friends. She says she did not know what the movie was before she went, and it was not very good. It seems she is mad at me because I did not trust her. I told her it was not her I did not trust, it was the situation, but she still insists I don't trust her. I do trust her. Yeah, really, she is not the kind that cheats. She absolutely believes there is nothing wrong with going to a drive-in with a friend. She doesn't know why I was not aware of him, as she insists. She has mentioned him before. I really do not remember anything about him but that she shops in his store occasionally. Perhaps I am wrong here. She has started a spreadsheet to list all our assets and liabilities as I asked her to. She has been paying the bills and has the info I do not. She wants to split everything 50-50. She is not the kind that will cheat, and I will not either. So that should work. We will both work the finances when it all gets put together. We did end up disagreeing, not too loud, when I kept trying to find out why she lied, changed her mind and went out with him. I guess it boils down to she thought I would change my mind and see that it was harmless. She thinks I should have known her well enough to trust her. Me telling her I did trust her means nothing to her because I did ask her if she slept with him. She is really upset over that. I told her I asked because I was not there to see, so how I would know. She said I should have trusted her, and she changed her mind and went because of my ultimatum. I tried to explain how I felt, but she thinks I should not be hurt at all. I told her I am hurt beyond belief over what she did, but she insists she did nothing wrong. I ended up saying I want to fix this and you are resisting. Stop being stubborn and do something to fix it. I said I was sorry she got her feeling hurt and told her to get over it. The conversation ended and she and our 22-year-old son. She had him before I met her, who was there, left to go for their daily 2-mile walk. He might be able to talk some sense into her as he knows what happened. I guess I will find out more later, if she will talk. I did tell her that I do believe I overreacted due to the shock of her request. Unknown person. Location, Magic Mike. But she is too concerned that I don't trust her. I agree with some here, the ultimatum was too much. Our age difference is really not a factor. She is much better looking now than when we met. We truly married for love. We were both pretty broke back then. Being a good father for her son helped too. She, in my opinion, went out on a date. She does not call it a date, just out with a friend. She says she would have let me go to a drive-in with a female friend if I had asked. I am upset because she chose the date over my ultimatum, which I now feel was wrong, but I feel betrayed that she went. Comments: regardless of what you think about his reaction, this marriage was already in trouble, as evidenced by 1. She says she wouldn't go to the drive-in with her husband because people only go there to make out. Yeah, and I bet this relationship is mostly non-physical as well. 2. She then proceeds to go on a date with another man to a venue her husband has previously asked her to go to and she refused. She would only go there to make out though, as she stated herself. 3. Not only is it disrespectful to even go there with another man, but she lies to her husband, goes behind his back, takes another man to a self-described makeout joint, and then belittles him for having an issue with this. This demonstrates a complete lack of respect in the marriage. This is a major structural issue in this marriage that points to much more serious issues than the actual date. 4. Her destructive behavior is either a massive fitness test to see how much control she can wield over him and have him lie down and take it, or she is purposely destroying the marriage because she is too much of a coward to either address real issues or be the one to leave. Now she gets to blame everything on his overreaction, when I suspect this marriage has had many issues in the past and not much love for a long time. That all doesn't matter now though, because she has a story to tell all of her friends and relatives about this crazy overreacting guy. This is a lot of assumption, but it's logical extrapolation. This woman appears borderline abusive, but also just a woman who will do what she can to justify bad behavior to save face. We see it all the time on sites like this. The husband here is acting like a doormat and probably does in many areas of his marriage. He's scared of her and she wields control over him because of this fear. The solution here starts with him. I imagine at his age it's difficult to think of the prospect of starting over, but he still has many good years left, and does he really want to just settle in with a woman who is demonstrating a complete lack of respect and love? It's never too late to find your backbone and go live your life for you. Every guy needs to stop being afraid of their wives. This happens way too often. OP responds: I am still stuck as to what to do. Yeah, I know, quit being a wimp and get her done, but I am leaning towards seeing a lawyer in a day or so. The wife still wants nothing to do with me. Doesn't talk or even look at me in the house. I have decided that I will ignore her too and see about finding the real cause of my problem. I think I was set up to get mad about the date so I can be the bad guy. I think she has other issues that are coming into play. A VAR or two seem like a good idea, as she spends a lot of time out in her car. I would like to know if she is seeing another. She says she calls her friend a couple times a week but has never been anywhere besides the drive-in that once with him. I don't really know what to do about getting a D, but I guess a good lawyer will explain that part to me. I do admit I am worried about getting financially ruined. I am about 3 years from retirement and do not have much for it. The W and I had big plans about what we would do and how we could make it work once our 15-year-old son is out of the house and we can relocate with me retiring. I forgot to mention that we had a son together. He will graduate high school in 3 years also. This mess will be really bad for him as he is a little bit autistic and cannot deal with problems very well. I would like to have custody of him, but he sure loves his mother too. I guess to sum it up, the W has shown no interest in fixing our problem. I have tried but to no avail. I guess it is time to talk to a lawyer and get the process started. We are still in the home together, still avoiding each other. She even avoids eye contact with me. I called the best lawyer in the area for a consult today. He recommends counseling as I am at financial risk with her being unemployed and a 15-year-old at home. I am getting a VAR today to put in her car as she is going to stay with a girlfriend too, and wed as she needs to get out of town for a while. What the hell? She needs to get out of town. It is a friend that she has known for 20 plus years, and I know her too. She might not be the best to get advice from, as she cheated on her husband for at least 15 of the last 20 years. Moved away the last 5 years. Really, I am not making this up. I want to save the marriage, but it sure does not look good. Perhaps the VAR will give me some info as to what I can do, as she isn't talking to me. If she confesses some heinous crime, so be it, but I am really just wanting to know what is on her mind and how she feels. She is playing me for something. I don't know what she expects to gain out of this. I would have let her go if she had told me she wanted out. I am sure she knew that. She has been getting separation pay from her last job. It runs out in a month and she will get $500 a week unemployment after that. I spoke with a good lawyer today. He advised staying together if possible. Maybe he has to tell clients that I don't know. I can take the financial hit if necessary. I have been very poor before. I can cope. If I had to, I know I could find another wife. Oh yeah, just what I need, another future ex. I will wait another week at the most and see if she will come around. I don't see how I can ever accept what she did and forget it though. I will stay cool and avoid trouble to see what develops with the possible counseling. Retainer $3,000 and bills at almost $200 per an hour. Supposed to be the best around here. I will see what happens through the middle of the week then file. I install the VAR but don't know how well it will work. I could not test it much. We are not together with anyone else to use as a witness. I am hoping things stay calm until Thursday. She returned from 4 days at a girlfriend's house, still not speaking or even making eye contact with me. I have decided to hire the lawyer and put an end to the whole mess. Now, admitted on Sat afternoon, she is in a hospital. Internal bleeding. She has had this problem before but now is really bad. She had to get a couple units of blood, but they can't find the problem. I am opening a new checking account in the morning and will hire the lawyer this week. Should be able to do it tomorrow or Wednesday. Her being in the hospital is, no doubt, going to cause me more problems. Our 15-year-old son is upset. Our 22-year-old son blames me for causing the stress. He thinks her going to the drive-in was okay. Yeah, he really does. Loyalty to his mom. I guess. I have hired a lawyer. I will be meeting with him on Monday to see what he recommends. She is not willing to discuss anything but the most trivial matters. Anything else causes her stress. I have not involved the kids in this. The 22-year-old involved himself and will no doubt be living elsewhere soon. I will not have hostility in my home. I do feel a lot better now that I have hired a lawyer. I have seen a therapist also, but my reason for seeing her has changed. I no longer want to try to repair the marriage, I just want help moving on. I no longer am interested in reconciliation. Talked to the lawyer, filed, and am waiting for her to get the letter and sign. I told her the letter is coming and we have finally been able to talk reasonably about our future. We will work together to keep the bills paid. She will be staying with a girlfriend until we can get things taken care of. I am going to try to keep the house and our son. She will have as much parent time as she can do. We will split our property and liabilities as fairly as we can. Elle has no wish to be unfair to her and I feel she will be fair with me. The marriage is broken and cannot be repaired. I really hope we can stay friends so we can take care of our son. With her reduced income, it will be hard to cover all the monthly expenses. Story 2. My wife and I have been married 5 years and a few months. We have 2 children ages 4 and 2. I work in the evening. My wife recently started working again, but she wasn't working for 3 years. A neighbor friend had been coming over in the evening and then one night her male cousin came over with her. I had met him once before, but he didn't come around often. Then he started coming over with her every evening. My wife became very guarded about her phone and I began to get suspicious. I found flirtatious text messages and many calls to him on her phone. When I confronted her, I got lies. When she finally confessed to anything, she said they had made out but it hadn't gone any further. The real problem was that she said beforehand they had a discussion about having an extramarital affair and the damage it could do to her marriage, and she decided to proceed with it. We went to counseling. But after a few sessions she decided she didn't care for that counselor and she would find another for us to see. She made no effort to find another counselor. But she had ceased communication with the other man, so I let it go. Within less than a month I found out she was talking to him again. Since the end of July, she has called him almost every single day. Multiple times a day. And in cumulative time is on the phone with him for over an hour almost every day. When I confronted her about it starting again, she lied and said she wasn't talking to him. She even drove the 50 miles from where we live to where I work, with the kids in the car, to argue about it with me in the parking lot. Next day I started calling different counselors. She continued to lie to me about calling him until I presented her with the phone bill. At which point she said that he's her friend and she can call him if she wants. We started seeing a counselor August 10th. The first meeting he told her that what she was doing was an affair and if she didn't stop that counseling would be ineffective. Afterward I asked if she was going to stop and she said no. The counselor didn't tell me I can't call him. So, second meeting I bring it up again and he tells her it's an affair. It's a distraction and every time she calls him it's like throwing a log on a fire that's burning out our marriage. Again, afterward she tells me the therapist didn't tell her to stop calling the OM. We had a big fight and I told her that if she didn't stop calling him, I was going to end our marriage. She stopped calling him for a few days, but then she went out and bought a prepaid phone. She tried to hide it from me, but I found it, so then she went out and bought another prepaid phone. Again, she tried to hide it. The third therapy session the counselor told me that I need to stop being controlling and checking up on her. So, I told her I was going to let it go, but that she needs to stop spending our money on prepaid phones. So, she immediately starts calling him on her phone again. And this past week it was over 3 hours a night she was on the phone with him. I hadn't said anything until today, when she was supposedly shopping. But I found out she got a text message from her friend that mentioned time that she was spending with the OM, and I confronted her. She says her friend was joking, but I don't believe it. I've been told too many lies, and she hasn't been honest about anything I didn't have hard evidence on. We are supposed to go see the counselor again next Saturday, but I don't see the point anymore. I want to fix the marriage, but everyone she has talked to has told her in no uncertain terms that she needs to cease all contact with him, and she refuses. At this point, I don't know if I can ever believe that she will actually stop. Is it worth continuing things with this counselor? I just don't know if I can give her the boot yet because of the divorce law in my state. I will be talking to the lawyer, but it looks like I've really got to hire a private investigator to get an adultery divorce or go through a separation, which could be 1 year or 2 depending on whether or not she will agree to the divorce. I'm also somewhat worried about what happens with the kids. I suspect that if we are divorced, she will be moving across the country, which either leaves me as a single dad or a dad that lives 35 miles away from his kids. I'm in Maryland. I will be talking about all this with a lawyer tomorrow or Monday. From what I've read about Maryland divorce law, it's rather difficult to get an adultery divorce. I have to prove via evidence or a third-party witness that she was motivated to sleep with him and with him at a location where they could have fun, and that they were there together for an amount of time that would allow for them to do their thing. I've got plenty of evidence to say that she was inclined to sleep with him, but I don't have hard evidence that pegs them together at a location where they could do it. I might be able to use the initial times where he was at our house, but I might have to get a witness to testify to that too. There might also be an issue of condonation with that. The MD website says that since we had bond after she supposedly ended the affair, that whatever she did before was considered forgiven. My concern about the kids stems from the fact that I have been financially supporting the family. She is working now, but she doesn't make enough to support herself on her own. Since her mother and sisters live on the West Coast, I suspect that she will want to move there because she will at least have a place to stay for free. My friends all know about this, and her mother and sisters know. I'm an only child and my parents are only children, so I don't have a big family. I haven't told my parents yet because I was trying to fix the marriage, and the relationship between my wife and my mother is already a fragile one, but I will be telling my parents after I talk to the lawyer. But whatever, it's not her cousin, it's her friend's cousin. I don't know if he is in a relationship or not. She says he is. But since I don't trust her anymore, that doesn't mean much to me. I probably have been too nice, but I haven't for a second thought that I was going to nice her out of an affair. Yesterday during the confrontation, I told her that if she didn't stop all contact and remove him from her phone, that it would be over. This morning, in a moment of shocking transparency, she came to me, showed me her phone, deleted him from contacts, and deleted the call history and message history. Then she spent the rest of the day moping about how I made her lose her friend. She still has the prepaid phones, and I fully expect her to either restore his number to her phone from an SD card backup or call him on the prepaid phones. So, as of tomorrow morning, I will have my own PO box and my own separate bank account. I'm working on securing my own finances. Within a week or so there will be VAR in the car and in the house. We are currently renting the house, but our lease ended and we are on a month-to-month basis. I have no intentions of moving out, and she knows it. There is no way I'm moving out to let her stay in a house I pay for. So, after deleting his number yesterday, she decided to change her Facebook password today. I am no longer harboring any hope of fixing the marriage. I am beyond 180 and threatening or any attempts to make it stop. I don't care anymore if she stops or not. She has broken my trust beyond the point of repair. That said, I can't give her the boot just yet. In my state, the only way I can file for divorce now is if I can prove that there is physical adultery. Otherwise, we would have to be separated for at least a year, possibly 2, before I could get a divorce. I know there is a physical affair here, but I can't give her the boot until I have all my evidence required for the state to grant an adultery divorce. While I can't help being somewhat detached, I will be doing my best to play the game until I can give her the boot. I want her to think I trust her again. I want her to think I want to fix the marriage. We will continue to go see the therapist because insurance is paying for it. The guy is an idiot, but it will increase her comfort level. I've been with her for almost 7 years, and she is a creature of habit and a creature of comfort. The more she thinks I trust her, the more careless she will be about the affair. Within a week or so there will be VAR in her car and the house, and a camera inside my front door. Given her level of obsession with him, I doubt it will take too long to get what I need. A third story, an extra one for today. This is really sad, but that is exactly how I feel. after more than 10 years of marriage to a wonderful man. I am in a point of my life where I am ready to stop wasting my time and make a decision while I am still young enough to start all over again. But at the same time I am afraid I might end up alone without kids. We do not have kids, and it has been a conscientious decision up until it hit me that I am 35 and this can be my chance to be a mother. What if I just have a kid and then ask for divorce later? Or should I just get the guts to make a decision now? He is a wonderful man, but I think I finally got tired of his depressions, his low self-esteem, not knowing where he wants to go in life, not bringing enough money home. I can go on and on and on, but all those things are not that bad. He is an artist after all, and I guess all artists are the same, right? I do not think the problem is him. The problem it's without a doubt me. I want a man who is strong, who knows what he wants, who is confident, and at the same time a man who has other things that my husband has. I have been considering divorce or at least a separation for the past 5 years, and I am too afraid to do anything about it. I am afraid I might end up regretting my decision because I know he is a good man. We do not even fight, but I can't stand the movies he likes, the friends he likes, the kind of things he likes anymore. We do not even enjoy the same kind of food. We have not been to counseling because he has no idea. I feel this way and I have no idea how to bring it up. I am exhausted. I do not know where to begin. I see friends divorcing and instead of feeling sorry for them, I envy their strength to make the decision and move on with their lives. I should just suck it up and be thankful to have a good, faithful man, have a family, and stop complaining, but the idea of living the same thing for the next 20 years just drives me insane. He says he wants children because his life does not have direction and he hoped that a child will give him just that. As I write that, I realize how childish our reasons are to have kids. Nothing makes my husband happy. In the past 10 years we have moved out of 4 different cities, 3 different states in search of his happiness. I managed to make things happen because he talks too much but lacks action and execution unless he is employed and told what to do. It is frustrating. And every time we move to the new city and get settled down, then he quickly gets anxious to look for something else. And something new. I like change as much as he does, but I am happy in the process. He is always miserable and I feel like I have to be his cheerleader all the time. And when I need a cheerleader, he just adds to the negativity again. He is a good man, with a big heart, generous, and has a loving family. He helps around the house, and even though he does not bring a stable paycheck, he does not get into debt either. So, I realize he has great qualities, but I guess over the years the little things just seem to gain more and more importance to the point of making unbearable the simplest situations. Like watching a movie. I got to say, just writing about this makes me feel better already. I am afraid of ending up alone. I never had the desire of having kids, but now that I find myself in this situation, well, what if I end the marriage? Then after a year I really want to have a kid, then I am going to be one of those women just looking for a man to have a kid, and I am afraid of that. I am afraid of being judged. I am afraid of having the stigma of a divorced woman without kids who ended up alone. So that is where the absurd idea of having a kid before ending the marriage came about. I thought to myself, well, I can have the kid, divorce, and then if I end up alone, then that is fine. I just don't want to be wondering in a couple of years, what if? I have never cheated on my husband, but the past 5 years of our marriage I have been craving attention from men. And I get it, but of course I don't act on it. I just enjoy that and I feel terrible about that. And I wonder if that is normal or if that is because I think turning 35 is such a big deal. It's like I need to get validation that I am still attractive. Please do not judge me. As I write my thoughts I realize how vain they are. But I can't help it. That is how I feel. We are also far from friends and family, so that definitely does not help at all. How long have you been feeling that way? I was trying to find explanation behind my feelings, and the more I look into it, the more confused I get. I do not even fight with my husband. He is a good roommate, but the kind of friends we like, the kind of activities we each enjoy, movies, are different. He loves to be around people, family, but I am the opposite. I am very independent. I like to spend time with people, but people who I can learn from, people interesting. To me it's not only about hanging out, it is about taking advantage of time, but he sees life very differently. My comment: do you think about having babies? Is it an issue at all in this whole process? How did you guys decide about having kids or not? Comment down below, sub and bell, and I am starting to prepare for a long